Each week during this segment, we give each panel member a chance to say what is on their mind. Ken, do you have any good things on your mind?
Absolutely.
Good.
So I just want to point out that with the 2016 elections, the Libertarian Party managed to achieve 2.8% of the popular vote here in Maryland. And I think it was overall about 3% of the popular vote nationwide. That gives us ballot access here in Maryland and several other states across the U.S. I'm absolutely thrilled by this. And, you know, that is over double of what we got in Maryland here in 2014. So, Libertarian Party, keep growing, keep building.
Colin?
Well, I think, and also I'm going to have an election-related last call. The election's over, and I think what we have seen occur over the last week, we have to accept, in order for our democracy to work, we have to accept the results of an election. It's over. It is what it is. Protesting in the street, certainly we have the First Amendment, the right to speech, but we have to move past this and accept it. Now, on the flip side, so that's addressing, I think, the left. On the right, and I think this is very disturbing, and I'm hoping they're very isolated incidents. I've seen some horrible, horrible examples of prejudice and racism and everything else by people who I'm sure, you know, Trump is not encouraging, but who are taking encouragement from his election. And I think that's something that we have to be very careful as a society that it does not go out of control, because that's not who we are.
Jim?
So I'm going to do election too, although I will remind everyone it's Thanksgiving next week, and you know, we all look at our lives on a daily basis and probably think about the things that we could do better, or the things that we should be doing and aren't doing, or the things we'd like to have that we don't have. But I know I have a lot to be thankful for, and I am. But on the election side, I would say that my guy won, at least in the presidential race. And I was a very tepid supporter. I was not vociferous, to use the term that somebody used, a vociferous supporter of Donald Trump. But I'm not going to sit around and go rah-rah that he won. I'm going to sit around and I'm going to hold his feet to the fire and make sure that he does what he promised to do. And for those million people, or however many, or 50 million people or 60 million people that voted for Hillary Clinton, they can't change the election, but by God, they can talk to their Congress people and they can write to Donald Trump and everybody else and let their will be known. This was a very, very different election cycle. There was a lot of emotions on both sides. I hope those emotions stick throughout the next 4 years, and I hope we take this opportunity as an individual, as a voter, as a citizen of this country, to be involved in the process, not just once every 4 years, but every day. Take the 10 minutes, learn what's going on, and contact your Congress people, contact your county commissioners, your city council, whomever, and let them know what you're thinking.
Thanksgiving is an extremely important time of the year, and I think there's a lot of things that we can all be thankful for that we've experienced through the election process and through a lot of other processes. Hopefully now, the men and women of the middle class will have 4 years in the spotlight. We constantly deal with the fringes and helping the fringes that the middle class has suffered.
You're right.
I hope to see the middle class elevated to its rightful position, to see the middle class make the money and get the jobs that's being promised, that
at a reasonable wage.
At a reasonable wage, that you get the income needed to lower the deficit, get the infrastructure bill moving because of the jobs it will create, and deal with those issues. And I agree with you. Everybody has to hold the president accountable for what he promised, but let's face it, what he promised is what the people voted for. And you have to point out, though, 1 million people voted for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump under the popular vote. So he won the Electoral College, which he criticized before. and he did not win the popular vote. I think it's a 5th or 6th president that's won the presidency that did not win the popular vote.
2 in recent years.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting, challenging, but it's going to be, I think the middle class will come back. That's all the time we have for tonight, but we hope you will like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And be sure to join us again next week for another visit to the Flip Side.